two things I do when I'm regressing people. Now, the obvious thing is that you want people to remember things they've forgotten, but then you can actually get the person to get the aliens to talk through them as well if you're lucky. So when you've got all the memories back, you then say, can we have a dialogue with the aliens? And Trevor is the most fluent one I've had so far.
It was whilst watching television that Trevor first realised he was not normal.
When I was at home about 3 or 4 years previously, there'd been an American series taken that had been shown on TV. And there was the typical things that happen to an abductee: nosebleeds, scars on the body, particularly on the ankles and knees. And I got one of these ankle scars, and I suddenly thought, well, wait a minute, this has happened to me. I've been abducted.
David begins the regression session, and within seconds, Trevor descends into a deep hypnotic state.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep sleep, Trevor.
Within minutes, he starts to recall details of his abduction experience.
The first time I saw the craft was in the college car park at Gravesend. I'd ordered a curry and I was just sitting down to eat it. I think I ate 3/4 of it. And I looked up and there was this light formation coming towards me. I got closer and closer. And the next minute I was being lifted up into the craft on a cradle of light. These Bombay doors opened on the craft. The projector-like device drew me up and dropped me onto like a stretcher. About 3.5 foot tall. They've got insect-like heads, but they were basically humanoid in shape. They seem to have these enormous sunglass-type shields over their eyes. Something was implanted in my nose. It did cause an enormous amount of stress at the time, because the prong was at least 1 foot long. They put a chip into the brain so that they can actually trace the abductees. But I'd rather not go further into that one. It's very, very distressing.
Trevor then attempted telepathic communication with the aliens, causing their craft to veer dangerously out of control. Having nearly crashed their precious flying saucer, the aliens decided they'd had enough of Trevor.
Somehow I was manoeuvred back onto the cradle of light. They cut open the side of the car, they dropped me back into the driver's seat, and then rewelded the car back up, with 3/4 eaten curry back on my lap, which I finished off. I was hungry, so I finished the curry.
Finally, David decides to bring Trevor back.